I'm going to continue looking through HYLN's annual 2025 report. And the first section is human capital. That's people. As of the end of the year 2025, we had approximately 113 full-time employees. All full-time employees are located within the United States. Looking back at the previous annual report, as of the end of December of 2024, we had approximately 93 full-time employees. So it's approximately. So you got 93 there, 113 at the end of 2025. So you see an increase of approximately 20 full-time employees. Now, if you take a look at the Cedar Development Economic Agreement between 2024 and 2025, you see at the end of 2024, it says HYLN shall not employ less than 65 full-time employees at the Cedar Park facility. And then at the end of 2025, HYLN shall not employ less than 85 full-time employees at the Cedar Park facility. So you see a jump of 20 full-time employees, which if you compare the head counts from the annual reports, it also increases by that same amount. In the DEF 14A form, there's an eligibility section, and it says, as of March 25th, 2026, we had approximately 115 employees, and that's an increase of approximately 2 more. So they're continuing to hire more full-time employees, and that increased the cash burn rate that they have. In the risk related to our business section, they added an additional word here, because if you look at the previous annual report, it read, we depend on government funding. And in the current one, it says we substantially depend on government funding. So they added in the word substantially. Why is that? And in this paragraph below this bolded statement, they actually removed a sentence. And you got to go back to the previous one. And it says, the sentence that was removed, while we expect to sell our Carno generator to commercial customers beginning with the initial deployments in 2025, for the time being, we are substantially dependent on funding from the Office of Naval Research. And in the current annual report, there's no mention of selling the generator to commercial customers. It just conveniently disappeared. It's nowhere in there. It's like this expected commercial launch in 2025 didn't happen, and they didn't even change the year. They could have changed 2025 to 2026 and stuck it in here, but they just chose to completely omit the commercial launch of the Carno generator. That's concerning. As of February 19th, 2026, there were approximately 50 holders of record of our common stock. In the prior annual report for 2024. It says as of February 20th, 2025, there were 54 holders of record of our common stock. So that decreased by 4 people. Actually, no. It says on the previous one that there were 54 holders. And on this one, it says that there were approximately 50 holders. So it approximately decreased by 4 holders. It's interesting because in some cases, they'll put the exact number, and in other cases, they'll kind of estimate. Perhaps it's still 54 and they chose to round down. The retail investor will never know. Now, at the bottom of this page, key factors affecting operating results, and there's 2 items that they added. And that's inflation as well as high interest rates that could affect the performance and future success. Commercialization of Carnot power module. They added in a phrase in here: the amount and timing of our future funding requirements will depend on many factors. And one of those factors that were added in is the timing of Carnot power module commercialization. When is it going to take place? I thought it was in the beginning of 2025. They could have advanced it to the beginning of 2026, but 2026 has come and gone. And I don't know when or if the timing of the Carnot power module commercialization will take place. But that's added in as a factor. Marketing, promotional, and advertising cost. Marketing, promotional, and advertising costs were $200,000 and $100,000 for the years ending December 31st, 2025 and 2024, respectively. So right now, as of last year, they spent $200,000 in marketing, promotional, and advertising costs, which for in the ERX days, that was a lot more. So they've drastically cut down, because in the ERX days, they spent $1.3 million on marketing, promotional, and advertising costs for December, for the year ending December 2023. Talking about the leases, there's kind of more, there's another date in here. In February 2025, the company executed a sublease for a portion of its corporate office, which I'm pretty sure but can't confirm that's Element USA, that accelerator, through April of 2027. So that lease will go through April 2027. And I don't know if it's going to be subleased through HYLN, or HYLN will just part ways with that portion, small portion of their extended office space, and give it back to the landlord. I don't know what's going to happen. But it also continues here, and it says in December of 2021, the company amended the lease of its corporate office, so they made changes to it. This amendment increased the amount of space under the original lease, adjusted monthly lease payments and decrease the term of the lease to April of 2027, which is the same time that the sublease ends. The lease amendment includes the option to extend the term up to 2 consecutive terms of 5 years, which was not reasonably certain to be exercised at the modification date. So as we get into 2027, is HYLN going to renew their current lease that they have in Cedar Park for an additional 5-year term? That is something that remains to be seen. It's going to be interesting to see what they do, because right now they're just being vague and nebulous, and they're not showing their cards. But as 2027 rolls around, they're going to be forced to do something. Are they going to renew it for a year? Are they going to renew it for 5 years? And if they renew it for 5 years, that money is going to have to come from somewhere, unless they get acquired by another entity, or they just decide to burn through everything and go bankrupt and go, okay, here's your office, and I don't know what's going to happen. But before April 2027, if they extend for 5 years, I would think that funding beyond 2028 would be kind of nailed down by that point. Again, I'm just speculating of what might happen. The economic incentive agreement with the Cedar Park EDC, the requirements must be met on or before specific measurement dates and maintained through the term of the agreement, which expires effective December 31st, 2029. And we know that the amount of cash that they're sitting on will last through sometime in 2028. The company has received payments to date of $400,000, which are refundable as applicable performance requirements were not met and are included within accrued expenses and other liabilities as of December 31st, 2025. Under the agreement, the Economic Development Corporation has the right to file a security interest to all assets of the company. So the sublease is going to expire in 2027, and this economic development agreement expires in 2029. And if they're going to sublease it for 5 years, they're going to have to get the money from somewhere that would satisfy the leasing requirements as well as this economic development thing, unless they get acquired by someone else. In that case, there would probably be more money, or they get funded through some means, which that's what they're talking about right now. But you can't really trust what they say, because they may say one thing and then not do it, or completely pivot to another direction. But they're just burning through cash and time. They've got what, I'd say 2 years, 2.25 years maybe. Because as they hire more full-time employees, that's just going to increase the cash burn. And they're making income from this economic development agreement. They're making income from a sublease. They're trying to make income through a patent lawsuit, which I know that there's one of them out there. They're making income through research and development, contract services. But right now there's no sales of Carno generators, because we're waiting for that unlock of the UL certification and getting it up to the full 200 kilowatts, which Thomas is making it sound like, oh yeah, we're up to 175 kilowatts, and we're trying to find ways to prevent heat from leaking out of the system. So in the next video, I'll go over more into the DEF 14A, because it just gives me more stuff to talk about. That's it for this video. Thanks for watching.